Hi, this is one in a series of videos explaining the simulator that we use in the ITN160 class at the Delaware Technical Community College. What I want to do in this video is give you an overview of the simulator itself, the project that contains it, and show the introductory exercise that comes with the project. So if you open up the project after you've installed it, and there'll be a separate video on that, you might see something that looks like this. What you need to do is come over and click on the project tab, and that will open up this window to see the various components of the project itself, including the name of the project, which right now is ITN160-simulator, and its location, which is in my home directory on my C drive. Underneath that, there's an exercises folder. Underneath that, there's a pictures folder. And in the same level as the pictures folder, there are two PY files. The first one you don't need to be concerned about. The second one is the starter exercise. And the third one is the simulator code itself. Underneath that, there are four explanation files. There are two things I've called cheat sheets, one that explains about containers and the other having a list of exercises. So assuming that you've never run this before, this is what you should do. When highlighting the exercise 0, you can right-click on it and say that you want to run it. If everything is successfully installed, you'll see a window show up like this, and this is the simulator. So now I'd like to talk about the different components of the simulator. The first at the top is a title line, and you can change that to whatever you want. You can also change its color. Underneath that is a message line, and you can change that and also change its color. And then in the first column here are 4 lights, and these lights can either be on or off, and they each have a name. So the first one, the name of the first one is red as a string, R-E-D, and that can either be red or off. Next one is yellow, and that can either be yellow or off. Then green, and then blue. So that's red, yellow, green, blue, all in lowercase and in quotes are the way to address those lights. In the next column, there's a row of buttons. And the buttons don't have a name quite in the same way, and indeed they work in a slightly different way than the lights. So when you push the button, if your code has provisions for it, you will receive the number of the button being pushed. So if my code and the exercise is set up properly, pushing this button will tell that section of code that button 2 has been pushed. If no button is ever pushed, then that code never executes. Moving on to the next section, there are 3 sliders, and sliders right now are set up to slide between an integer value of 0 and 100. Each of them go through the same value. And the name of the first slider is red in lowercase. The name of the second slider is green in lowercase. The name of the third slider is blue in lowercase. And at any time, in our code, we can retrieve either the value of a single slider by specifying its name, or in another command, we can retrieve the value of all 3 sliders together in one command. In the last column on the top, we have a circle, and that circle can be set to any color that you want by specifying its red, green, and blue values. Those are specified as integers from 0 to 255. Underneath that is a special kind of button. As part of the simulator code itself, when you push the button, the picture will change from sun to moon and then back again. So now it's the sun, now it's the moon, now it's back to sun. And in your program, you can force it to change, or you can find out what it's currently set to. Moving down here, there are 2 groups of widgets for entering user data. So the prompt, which you can change, belongs to the first text edit field, which is down here. And down here, you can type whatever you want. And in your program, you can read what has been typed in that text edit box. Prompt 2 is the same. You can change the prompt and type whatever you want in the text edit box and read that into your code. When you're done with using the simulator, you can either use the X up here, typical of any Windows program, or you can use the quit button down here. So let's do that, and let's come back and look what has happened here. We now have, because we ran the program once, that name of that program and a green arrow, so we can use that to run it again. In the window down here, which is the console window, we see that there were no errors. The program started, and when we quit the program finished. If there's anything wrong with your program, or if the simulator has any problems, you'll see errors down here to help you out. And you can actually write your own messages into this window to help in debugging. So to wrap it up, let's take a look at exercise 0, and you can look at any of the things in here by double-clicking on them, and that will bring it up into this pane. And using the pie chart feature, we can make it bigger. This is meant to be the base exercise. It should work, and if you use copies of this instead of the exercise itself, and you have difficulty, you can always come back to exercise 0 and see that it still works. So we'll talk more in detail, but just quickly, the structure of this must not be changed. There needs to be this import statement at the top, a class statement written exactly that way, a function called once written exactly like this, another function called loop like that, and then down at the bottom, unindented, is what runs a command that runs the simulator. If there's no code that you need to provide in either this function once or the function loop, then you must have the word pass inside that function to satisfy Python. So if we want to move ahead to our own exercise, what I would do is I would right-click on this, on exercise 0, and say copy, and then be careful, come back and right-click on exercises, not on the project, and do a paste. And since this is going to be my first exercise, I'm going to call it exercise 1. And notice that exercise 0 is still being shown and is still being run. So we can close this, we can go to exercise 1, and now we could change something. So typically what I want to change change in here. And if I type self and a dot, I'll find things that are valid to be changed. And a lot of them are going to come up in GUI app, and that's part of the simulator itself. And if I want to change something and I keep typing, I can see that these are all the things that I can change. So let me change the title, and let me change that title to Hello World. And you can see up here that PyCharm is giving you help, saying that what you need here is a new title that's required. And if you wish, you can set a new color. And if you don't wish to do that, then the color will be black. So we'll put in Hello World here. And separated by a comma, we can say color equals and put any color we want, like blue. Now, if I go back and hit the green arrow, I'm going to run exercise 0, not exercise 1. So the first time I want to run this, I right-click on it and say run exercise 1. And when it comes up now, I'm running exercise 1, and you can tell that's true because this now says Hello World, and it's in blue. So that's all we're going to cover in this session. We'll come back and do more sessions in the future and explain this in more details. Please let me know if you have any questions about the video. Thanks. Bye.